Do you play stock shafts in your wedges? Are wedge fittings actually for you as a golfer? What about lie angles? What about weights? What about swing weights, dead weights, grips? This video's got it all. It is something that I think you should absolutely be looking at. If you've clicked on this video, then you can definitely benefit from what's inside. So you need brand new wedges. Where do you start? We're coming into the fall here in Southern California. The Bermuda grass is dying out. Now is a good time to get those fresh grooves out because you need some friction and you need some spin. In this video, I'm going to explain why you don't want to go and just get off the rack stock standard wedges. There are mountains of wedge shafts out there that you can lean on to benefit you, but here are some of my golden rules when it comes to getting freshies. As always, be sure to hit subscribe. Any questions you've got, bang them down into the comments and I will do my best to answer them for you. I've got my wedges in front of me, everything from a pitching wedge, a 52, a 56, and a 60. These are all standard bounce. Bounce is going to be a subject that we'll touch on in this video. Effectively, it's how the middle of the sole of that golf club gives back to you, the player, based on the surface that you're playing on. As surfaces change through the season, going from soft into firm, into lots of grass, into bare grass, because certain grasses don't live during the winter, they go dormant, that's when you need to consider different bounces for your game. If you change your technique and the shaft lean, different bounces are also going to help you. As the first golden rule, if the ground is soft, more bounce generally is going to be helpful. If the ground is firm, then less bounce is going to help that leading edge sit tight on the turf and enable you to get in there and play the shot required. That's one of the rules of many when it comes to bounce that you should look at. But let's look at rule number 2, and let's go from the set pitching wedge. That's the first place that we look at. I'm holding my MC here in the set pitching wedge. Some characters are going to play a mill grind 5 and have what we're going to deem as and define as a scoring wedge. A scoring wedge will have a longer hosel. The hosel section you can see here defined with the rings, that's going to be a little longer. It's going to pull the center of gravity closer to the golf shaft. It's also going to give you a bit more feel. These scoring wedges tend to spin a bit more. That is the reason, because I spin it a lot, because the way I deliver the golf club is narrow. Take a look at that on your launch monitor. If you're narrow and steep, you might want to have a wedge that doesn't spin massive amounts, which is why I tend to stick with the set wedge rather than the scoring wedge. That's area number 1. Then you've got to decide on your set makeup for your wedges. I like to think about what your most lofted wedge is going to be first. Yes, you can get into a 64. Legally, that's the most loft on the blade that you can have. But generally, a lot of us out there as golfers, 60 is going to be your most lofted wedge. You will not use that as a general rule for full shots, but that's where you start. Then you go to your pitching wedge in your set and have a look at the loft on that. And then from there, you fill the gap in between. So for Tiger Woods, he only has one wedge in between his pitching wedge and his 60, and that is the 56. For me, I'm not quite the swordsman that Tiger is. I go for 52 and 56. And then I make room for that at the top end of my golf bag. So I'll play a 7-wood, and then I'll get straight into the 4-iron. That is a massive key step here and a decision you have to make. Where do you want to go in the middle, and how good are you at hitting those knockdown wedge shots and playing the softer flight versus hitting the 56 and doing everything with it? That's a test area when it comes to getting the right wedges. Let's look at other areas. Let's talk lie angles. Did you notice at the Ryder Cup that's just been played, Matt Fitzpatrick and that fantastic sand iron shot he hit at the last? Also, Scotty Scheffler, looking at the wedges on the last hole that they played, it was clear to see that those wedges for full shots, to me, looked a little bit flat. What does that mean? It means the toe of the golf club angles further away from the grip. Why would you have that? Because when you chip, generally you will stand and have the sole of the club lying flat, rather than setting the club up for the full shot. So when players, tour players, play the full shots with those things, the wedges appear flat. What benefit does that mean to me, Trotty? Why do I care about that? Well, it's very important for your fitting that you look at that, because you're going to play off-speed shots, half-speed shots. And you always want, for the right-hander, those off-speed half shots to drift a little bit to the right. I was watching the Golf Channel the other day. You would see that Shane Lowry likes to hit little fades, left to right moving shots for the right-hander with his wedges because it controls the spin that bit more. So a tip for you through the wedges, play them a hair flatter than the rest of the set. Another golden rule when it comes to wedges and tour pros and what we can learn from it is the weight. The head weights, because the shaft is shorter, needs to be heavier. Dave Stockton, a fantastic wedgeman in his own right, won a major. I've seen him coach a lot of touring pros. He likes to have the D6 swing weight. Remember, swing weight is a balance point. D first, then a number. Usually your set will be around D4, D3, but he would always go for D6 in the wedges. Why is that? Because it's a shorter golf shaft than the rest of the set. You want the head weight so you can feel it. As you play off-speed, slower golf, chip shots, shorter shots, by having a heavier head weight, you can truly feel the soft cover of the golf ball. That's why a lot of these wedges are raw, like this one, because you don't want chrome in between you and the golf ball. It's all about enhancing feel. Feel helps you in this area as a player. If you can get it heavy, get it flatter, for the shorter shaft, it offsets that. Then let's get into shafts itself, and this is a big one. The reason I have 4 of these wedges with me here, 2 of them, the pitching wedge and the 52, I've got with the shaft that I play in my set, which is going to be the Tour V110S. Yes, I've got the Happy Gilmore sticker on that one, but I can tell you it's a Tour V110S. Then I move into a specific heavier wedge shaft. I've got a 115 in my 56 and a 120 in my 60. That is weight. As you can see, when we change 1/4 of an inch difference, I want the heavier weight in the shorter the shaft. Again, it all comes to feel. Why do I go for the 610 wedge? Because it knocks the spin off. And I generally don't play full shots with my 60 and my 56, whereas I will be playing full flat out shots with these 2 options. The final call out to look on in your wedges, I go round grip on anything that I feel like I'm going to open up. So the 52, I may open this up around the greens. That makes an easy choice, round grip. And you can notice I've gone Grip Master with the full rib down the back, the sewn rib down there for the pitching wedge, because this isn't a club I'll open up anything like as much as the other wedges. There's a lot in there, but they're my key points when it comes to looking at the wedges. Lie angle, critical. Weight, critical. Dead weight and swing weight, critical. Also, the type of grip you put on them is all going to be important. There's a lot we can dive in between the wedge shafts, certainly on the KBS offering. Go on the website, check out KBS X. Take a look at the wedge offerings they have. Think about if you're off speed, on speed, and look on your launch monitors at that attack angle. If you don't have a launch monitor, then look at the apex and look at the amount of spin you put on that golf ball. Believe it or not, as you get better at golf, you can easily overspin wedges. Again, we saw it a lot at Bethpage. The greens were soft, the ball was spinning so much, which is why you need to be amazing at hitting off-speed shots with less loft. If you do that in the wedges, it won't spin as much. So take more club, hit it softer, and you won't get the spin. Tyrrell Hatton, classic example of this on that 18th hole when he snuck it tight next to Matthew Fitzpatrick. This is an area where we can really improve. It's the same as putters. It's crucial that you get the right wedges for your game. It's crucial you keep them fresh, and it's important that you keep an eye on the bounce for the seasons as they change. You cannot practice this area enough, so get the right tools to make you a great wedgeman and improve your game overall. There's no reason that all of us can't be great with our wedges. You don't need a ton of speed to be brilliant at this, so why can't it be a supreme strength of your game? Check them out.